Hello, this is Roland. Today I want to demonstrate the meditation for you. It's very short, simple, but it's very, very powerful. Could be just what you need. Most people are too reactive to get lost in thoughts, lost in emotions, lost in daydreams. And when they're not lost in emotions and thoughts and daydreams, then they're lost in worry. Okay? And when they're not doing that, then they find some artificial thing to get lost in, like texting or video games or music or movies or internet or shopping, something to get lost in, or lost in food, or lost in alcohol or marijuana. You see how they all lead to being lost in something. But the primary thing that we get lost in is our thinking, our imagination, thoughts, worries, and fantasies. So, you need to come back to the moment, back to where the birds are singing, back to the peace that you find in the present moment. There's a special peace in the present moment when you're not lost in worries, you're not lost in thoughts. There's a very special peace there. That's what you need to find. Now you need a little help, because if you tried just sitting quietly, you'd get lost in thoughts. Or you'd get antsy, reach for something. So you need to practice this, and at first, a little bit, okay? Because you're so used to escaping that just a couple of minutes, or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes is enough for starters. 3 times a day. Now let's get started with it right now. Sit in a chair. It's best to sit, because if you lay down, you might fall asleep. And you actually want to be awake and aware in the present moment, to experience the now present. So sit in a chair, and there's a couple of ways you can sit. You can either have your hand dangling by your side, say your right hand dangling by your side, or you can have your hands like on the arms of the chair. If your chair has arms, you could have your hands delicately resting on the arms of your chair. Or another way would be to have your hands in your lap, just sitting in your lap. Just have your hands resting in your lap. Or you could also have them together. Okay. So let's do. So remembering that any of those will work, just pick one of them. I'm going to pick the one where I have my right hand by my side, and I'm going to say hand. I'm going to ask you to be aware of your hand. Okay? You can also be aware of both hands. But let's start with hand. Just be aware of your hand. Okay? Now you're sitting in the present, and I'm going to ask you to be aware of your hand, and I'm also going to ask you to close your eyes. Okay? And when you close your eyes, you're going to see little pixels on the inside of your eyelids. So close your eyes and just look at the inside of your eyelids. And when you look at the inside of your eyelids, you're going to see little pixels there, little patterns of light, little sparkles of light, little flow of light, or just a little glow on the inside of your eyelid. So now close your eyes. I'm going to do it right here as I sit here. I may look kind of funny sitting here with my eyes closed on this video, but I'm just going to do it right along with you, okay? But if you could, close your eyes. Okay, close your eyes and just observe the little pixels on the inside of your eyelids. Okay? Just look at the inside of your eyelids and see the little patterns of light there. I'm opening my eyes so I can look at the video and so on. But you keep your eyes closed if you would like to. Keep your eyes closed. Look at the inside of your eyelids. And at the same time, be aware of your hand. Notice your hand. That's all. Just Notice your hand. Feel your hand. Notice that your hand exists. Be aware of your hand. As you're looking at the inside of your eyelids, at the little pixels of light, you're also, at the same time, aware of your hand. And as you're aware of your hand, you'll start to feel a little bit tingly, delicately tingly. One thing that helps people to remain aware of their hand is to be aware of one finger at a time. So let's do that now. You've got your eyes closed, you're looking at the inside of your eyelids. And you see the little glow of light there, delicate glow of light, or little pixels, your little patterns of light. And at the same time, aware of your hand, noticing one finger at a time. So let's start with your thumb. Notice your thumb. Feel your thumb. Notice that your thumb exists. Feel the little tingle of your thumb. Feel the blood flowing into your thumb. Now notice your first finger. Notice your first finger exists. Now notice your second finger. You'll become a little bit tingly. Notice your third finger. Now notice your fourth finger. Now notice your thumb again. Continue being aware of your hand, one finger at a time, as I speak. As you're aware of your hand, it'll start to feel a little bit tingly. And perhaps a little bit warm. When you're aware of a part of your body, it becomes warm. So now you're aware of your hand, and also looking at the little pixels on the inside of your eyelid. Now as you're sitting there, you may notice a sound in the room. A car going by, a bird singing, a little computer hum, a bee buzzing outside the window. Any little sound, just notice it. Just be aware of it. Be aware of those very delicately. Okay? Because you're in the present. You're in the present. If a thought comes along, and thoughts will come along, then just notice that the thought came, and then superimpose the inside of your eyelids, looking at the inside of your eyelids over the thought. Now you're back in the present again. Practice this exercise every morning for 5 minutes or so, at noontime for 5 minutes or so, and then again in the evening for 5 minutes or so. 3 times a day. It's very important. It's very important to begin the day with it. Okay? And that's the exercise. You are observing the little pixels, a little warm glow of light on the inside of your eyelids, and you're aware of your hand. Okay? Now, you may open your eyes. If you like, you can stretch, have a nice stretch. Okay. Now, just want to mention a couple of things. That's it. That's all you have to do. You can use my voice. You can put this video on and listen to my voice. Or you can get the audio of this video and just listen to my instructions. And you can use my instructions as long as you like. Eventually you'll be doing it on your own without my instructions. But in the beginning, my instructions help. Okay? So you see how simple it is. Now just a couple of things I want to mention. And that is, for example, when you're aware of your hand, you can extend it to both hands if you like. And then perhaps your feet. For me, when I'm aware of my hands becoming a little bit tingly, and then I notice my feet are getting tingly and warm. My hands, I don't always notice them getting warm. I notice them a little tingly. But my feet, I notice getting warm. It's a very pleasant feeling to have my feet feel warm. You can even have your whole body might feel warm. Okay? So what you're doing is A couple of very simple things, but they're very important. You're getting centered. You're in the present. And you're not lost in worry, not lost in daydreams, not lost in fantasy. See, there's a lot of negativity that comes through our worries and our planning and scheming. And a lot of my videos talk about those things. But for this video, I just want to keep it very simple, and that is for what time you can actually be in the present, looking at the inside of your eyelids and aware of your hand. When you are there, then you are in the present. You're not lost in fantasy or worrying about the past or worrying about the future. You're just in the present. You're just being there, okay? You experience your being, and that's good. If you're not worrying, that's good. If you're not lost in some fantasy, which is unreality. See, it's unreality. You want to be in reality. And the other thing that's good is that you are centered and you are closer. You see, when you go out in the world and something excites you, angers you, irritates you, or you go out in the world and there are pressures, someone pressures you, then what happens is there's often a little change in your consciousness. You feel yourself becoming subject to that, whatever it is that's captured your attention through pressure or in some other way, something that you've made too important. It could even be something that you want, a pair of shoes or something. It becomes too important. You find yourself thinking about it. See, if somebody pressures you, then you struggle with that pressure, and then eventually you want to give in to it, so you don't have to struggle with it. See, that's how people, they know that's what's going to happen, but now you have to find a new way where the pressure stays on the outside. See, when you are anchored in the present and you're not lost in any of those outside things that make you emotional or pressure you, then you have a power comes into play from within. It's like your intuition. It's like what you know in your heart. And with that power, see, comes insight, hunches, delicate guidance, and also from it also comes the energy to move. See, when you're pressured on the outside, or when something captures your attention and gets you emotional, then if you move, then it's with emotion, excitement or anger or something. But when you realize what's right, or see what's right, or know what's right, or sense something, or feel delicately nudged to move from within, without words, you just sort of sense something, then you can move without having to drum up energy. See, you flow directly from the insight to the action. I'll give you a simple example, just to so you can see what I mean. If I'm walking down the street and all of a sudden there's a big hole in the sidewalk, okay? It doesn't take any analysis or worry or trying to figure it out what to do. I see the hole, and then I simply walk around it. See, from the observation, from seeing, comes the action. Okay. Well, the ability to be kind, to be gracious, to do the right thing. See, to have courage, to have patience. All of these wonderful virtues, along with insight and creativity, see, they come from within. And then along with them comes the energy with which to move. It's very beautiful. So, hope you enjoy this little demonstration of the meditation. My name is Roland.